Welcome back to Low Buck Builds. In this video, we're going to go ahead and change the fuel filter in the Firebird here. This is kind of an impromptu video. I wasn't planning on shooting it because it should be like a 15-minute job, but I've ran into a nightmare underneath, which I'll show you guys in a minute. I thought, well, maybe this will help you guys out. Or if you've had this happen and you have some advice for me, I'm more than willing to accept it. Put it down in the comments below. So let me show you what's going on. I should have been a fishing YouTuber. Alright, so let's get under here. I'll show you what's going on. Alright. Okay, so when I went to go take the lines off the fuel filter, they actually broke. It was so seized on, so now I don't know if you can see up in there, but both lines are broken. My original plan was to go ahead and just put new steel nuts on and flange out reflange the tube. I can't get the flange tool on there. There's not enough room to get a nut on there either, so I'm going to have to go to plan B, and I'll show you what plan B is. So here's the old fuel filter, and if you take a look right here, you can see I've never seen one come apart like that. It was so seized up whenever I was torquing off, the wrench slipped and it just popped right off. So I ended up having to cut the lines as close as I could to the end. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take the steel line, this original stock fuel filter, create connections for a hose. I got some high pressure fuel injection line, and I'm going to do it this way. I couldn't find an inline filter that was going to handle the 60 psi that this puts out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these, and then I'll flange them. We'll go ahead and put these on here and make little connections for hose connections. This already has some little barbs on there. Then when we get under there, we'll do this line on, double clamp it, and it should be good to go. So I want to leave enough room on this side to get 2 clamps on, because I like to double clamp. It's high pressure stuff. So I'm gonna go out about there. I can always cut this shorter later if I need to. I could just use a cut-off wheel, but this will make a nice clean cut. I had most of the stuff laying around the garage. The only thing I had to buy was the flange nuts, and I think they were like $6. I had this 3/8 brake line / fuel line pipe that's laying around from another project that I never used. There's one. Then we'll do same thing to this side. I wish I knew more about the other kind of pressure fittings and stuff, but I don't. So if you guys are familiar with the AN fittings and have some advice for me, I'm definitely open to take it. Most of the stuff I play with is carburetor, so I don't have to worry about all this high pressure stuff. I just throw a clear fuel filter on it and a hose and be done with it. Eventually I probably will end up just rerunning the whole fuel line for this car, just running either rubber hose or AN or something, but for now this will be fine. So now we're going to go ahead and flange the steel fuel line. Oh crap, I forgot to put the freaking nut on there. Common mistake everybody does. And I just did it myself. Hopefully I didn't compress enough. Right? Yep. Dang it. So yeah, I started flanging the piece before putting the nut on, so I flanged it too much, so now I gotta cut it off and restart. It happens. So now I got the second piece, and I made sure to put the nut on it before flanging it this time. So this is basically the process. Once you get it locked in here, you get your flange die, you tighten it up till it doesn't tighten anymore, and that's pretty much it. Just make sure you got the right size, you'll be alright. I made sure to leave about an 1/8 inch sticking out past the end of the holder, just to make sure you get a good flange. Alright, so now we got the nut on there. Go ahead and flange this. Hopefully I didn't leave that too far out. We'll find out in a second. And just like anything else, doing these flanges, it just takes practice. You'll kind of learn the tricks as you go. And there's lots of videos on YouTube that'll show you how to do it as well. I wish I would have put the camera just a little higher for most of this, but it is what it is at this point. Looks good. So what I'm going to do is make 2 of these and just basically make my own inline filter. Go ahead and get this one done, then we'll tighten that up. Alright, so that's our new inline filter. Make sure it's good. Voila, our new inline filter. This one's gonna have to have 1 hose clamp on it because I screwed up. This one can probably fit 2. So next I gotta get under the car, measure, see how much of this high pressure fuel injection line I need to connect these 2 points. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest way assembled, and then I'll show you guys the finished product, and we'll go ahead and do a pressure test. Okay, I lied. We're gonna go ahead and prep everything up here, so all I gotta do is slide it on and tighten it up underneath. So I went underneath and marked how long I needed for each side. I know they have fancier tools for cutting this, but I'm not that fancy of a guy. There's 1. There's 2. Right. See how hard this is to get on. Might have to grind that a little bit. I want those on to help hold the hose on. Just a hair approach totally on the jelly here. So I ended up putting just a little bit of petroleum jelly, just a hair inside the hose, and then just a little bit on the outsides of the steel I was sliding over, just to help it out. I carefully use electric ratchet just to get the clamps close. make sure don't tighten with these because it'll just strip out the clamps. So once I got it close, then I would use a ratchet where I could feel how tight you're and slow it down a little bit to keep it from stripping out. Always like to check hand tight. Just gotta see where they're at. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this stuff installed and then I'll show you guys the finished product. So I got everything set up, just did a test. We now have 0 fuel pressure. So yeah, we gotta change the fuel pump tomorrow. I'll go ahead and show you the end result underneath and then we'll get this out of the garage for tonight. So this is what we ended up with. It is not, oh, hold on. It may be leaking. Yep, it is leaking. So hold on, I gotta tighten these up more. So I went to the hardware store, I grabbed a couple of plugs with hose ends, I tried that and it was still leaking. Come to find out, I must have over tightened whenever I did the flange fittings and caused basically the same leak I had from the old filter. So I'm gonna have to go get a new fuel filter, which I ordered a kit from Amazon. But in the meantime, I ran a hose just straight across to test fuel pressure and we're back to 25 psi. So that means either the fuel pump is weak and going out, or it could be a fuel pressure regulator. So I already have the fuel pump, so in the next video I'm going to go ahead and put a new fuel pump in and test it again because the fuel pressure regulator is about $40 and I'd rather make sure that it's not the fuel pump since I already have it before I go spend even more money on this issue. As always, if you liked this video, hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos on this car and other projects, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.